for Tim and Ingrid. There they are. And they would like to know, Howard and David, can you share some of your dad's influence?
Well, our dad was the talented one of our family, and we really learned everything from him. He was in a group called the Badowski Brothers. It was a Czechoslovakian swing band. They played Western swing with accordion. They
Played
had accordion in the
polkas
group.
and Western swing.
polkas.
Yeah.
Okay.
We grew up on that.
There's a little Czech settlement near where we live still today,
Oh.
and that's where they were from. So that's what he grew up playing.
And what was his influence on the two of you?
Well, his influence was really incredible on us. I mean, it was everything. He taught us to play guitar, and when we did the Country Faith Seminar this morning, we were going through stories, and Jimmy Fortune was talking about it. He had kind of a similar upbringing. Our dad would bring his friends over and drink moonshine all Saturday night, and then our mom would have him in church, 8 a.m. Sunday morning. I mean, and he went there with a hangover more than once. And we'd honky tonk all night, but our mom was, she was, they weren't strict parents, as far as making us do that. They were actually a lot of fun, but they had their rules, and we did that. Of course, we
broke every one of them.
Yeah.
So I have to. What was your punishment when you did break the rules? You got caught.
We had a switch tree.
A switch tree.
Yeah.
Ah,
we did.
okay.
We had an old what we call an Australian pine tree.
Australian pine. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but boy, they're like a bullwhip. They won't break.
And they'd make you go out and cut one of your own switches. So I tried to find one that was about half broke already. So.
So they have literally been whipped into shape over the years. Yeah.
No, they didn't. It was none of the psychological stuff. They would, you knew the rules.
And your mom, she had everybody's number, didn't she?
Oh yeah.
I mean, could she look in your eyes and just tell?
Oh yeah, and that reminded me of a story I can't tell.
Well, now you have to. Now,
No,
Howard,
I don't.
you
have to read the book.
We
It's
used
in
to
there.
have.
it's in the book. Okay.
We used to have a little shack next door, which is now our studio. But we used to have a little shack next door, and we kind of built that. Our dad stored hay in it, and so we kept sleeping bags in there so we could go out and party, and we'd come home and we'd slip in there and we'd sleep in those sleeping bags so we wouldn't go in the house and wake them up. So, and that's how, when I first wrote Spiders and Snakes, that's what had happened is Howard had slipped into a sleeping bag with a snake inside of it. But
I wasn't picky in those days.
But
You have much better taste these days.
yeah, we
I
do.
will say that. Yes.
we'd be trying to hide out over there if we drank a little too much or something,
Okay, so I know Brenda is here, and Brenda has a special question. Brenda, I think you're kind of in the middle. Hi, Brenda. What's your question for Howard and David? Howard's birthday
Lord.
is tomorrow.
wow.
Oh, Brenda, what have you done?
Oh, look at
How
that.
sweet is that? Thank you.
Cupcakes for
thank you.
Howard. Happy birthday, Howard. Are you going to eat all of those?
Groundhog's Day.
What will you do to celebrate your birthday?
Over and over again. Yeah. Well, thank you. That's the first gift I have gotten. I thought everybody had forgotten. I was hoping. But because the number's getting big. I did get an email from a friend today, said there was some kind of fire alert because of too many candles on my birthday.
Yeah, notice no candles on these.
Yeah, no.
That's
Thank
very
you.
sweet. Thank you,
It
Brenda.
is.
And happy birthday.
Thank
We
you.
hope you have a wonderful one. Is there anything that we could all do to make it your best birthday ever?
I think we're doing it right now.
I think,
Yeah.
amen, brother.
I think so.
This is it. This is it right here. And here's something else that I think is the best thing ever. Buddy of mine from the very beginning, just like these guys, has been Blake Shelton. And Mr. Shelton announced his tour recently, and guess who's on it? Uh-huh. I think that is huge. I think it's wonderful. When you got the call, what did you guys think about going on tour with Blake Shelton?
Oh, yeah, it was a big deal. And of course, Blake had mentioned to me a couple of years ago that he wanted to do this. You know.
Oh, so it's been in the planning.
But well, there really was no
Okay.
planning. He had just mentioned it at one point, and I said, Blake, we'd love to. You know, be great. You know, and so, you know, I told Howard, and I guess we talked about it a couple of times, but we never really, you know, were planning on it because, you know, he's really busy. So he didn't forget about it. I guess he just got around to it. He called up one day and, hey, we want to do this. And so what we're telling everybody is that we're going out to help Blake out a little because his
That's right.
career ain't going that
Yeah.
well.
It's just,
So
no, honestly, no. Blake's career is in the toilet, is what it is. And these
I mean,
guys have to
he's only
save
got
him.
the biggest TV show in the world and selling out venues.
We
everywhere.
want the cover of that sexiest old man.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, we want to see how that works.
Oh, you have to give him some you-know-what over that sexiest man
Yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'm
we
sure.
do.
You
Believe
must.
me, we do.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you know, and I think you see it too. In Nashville and across America, we're seeing this just resurgence, and it may be in large part due to what we do here on the cruise. But so many people are missing the great country music that has been a part of their lives for the past 10, right, amen, 10, 20, 30 years. And that's why Blake is where he is, and he understands he stands on the shoulders of guys like this. So, I mean, do you feel this too, that people are just hungering after
Oh, yeah.
what's been so real and so meaningful
You
over
know,
the years?
Our schedule is we can't do all the shows that we're offered. Wow. I mean that's how many you know, and you know, we're buddies of course with the Oaks and those guys, and I talk to them sometimes, and it's the same way with them. I've never seen anybody work like they do, and us too. And we did 2 years ago we did 13 countries in 1 year.
Wait, get out. Wait, how is that possible?
No, we did really.
13.
Yeah, you know Judy Seal, our internet.
I do know
Well, then
Judy
you know
for
how we
years.
did 13 countries.
Well, she's a dynamo.
She's
And
crazy.
you know we've lost so many of our classic buddies,
Yeah.
you know, and that's so there's not so many left.
I think
you know,
people
is
appreciate it
another,
a lot, you know, because a lot of people are gone.
Well, it's clean music.
Amen.
Thank you.
Except for the bull and eating the plant, and that's
Well, that's clean.
Well, we outgrew that. So.
they're right
Kinda.
that one now. Listen, I mean, I've been bragging about you guys, how you have really led the way in taking country music and all kinds of music, because I know you do more than just country, taking it international. Man, of all the countries that you visit, is there one where, except for the United States, where you feel the most connected, the most at home?
We've been in 72 countries we played in.
Unbelievable. Thank you for
Yeah.
taking the music that far around the world. I think that's,
Yeah,
I think it's huge. It's huge.
Yeah, thank you. And we find incredible people everywhere. There are some really screwed up governments, as we all know. But there are amazing people everywhere. We spend a lot of time, like our second home in Europe is Switzerland and Norway, really. But we love Australia and New Zealand and down the South Pacific. We love that part of the world as well.
And we've later on in our career, because the early part of our career, we didn't know about it so much, how big of a market that India was for us. But later on,
Sri
and Sri
Lanka.
Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
Don't forget Sri Lanka.
Is someone
Bless
here from
you.
Sri Lanka?
We
Sure enough?
started going to Sri Lanka and India, and it's just fabulous. I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, they sing our songs so loud when we play, you can hardly hear the band.
Yeah.
They just,
Yeah, so they know your music.
oh gosh, they know better than we do. I mean, we check in the hotel and the bellboys are singing "I Need More of You."
And
Yeah, it's amazing.
that's kind of scary.
Yeah.
It is a little scary.
All right. Let's see. Joe and Margaret from Texas are here. Oh, this is sweet. Where are Joe and Margaret so we can talk to you personally? I want to know, how can you still sound as good as you sounded 42 years ago? Your concert last night was wonderful.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
With exclamation points.
Thank you very much.
That is a good question.
Well, you just caught us on a good night.
Just it's all that clean living, you know.
I mean, do you do anything special to take care of yourselves? I was talking to Patty Loveless yesterday about how she tries to take care of her voice. So what do you guys do to take care of yourselves to make sure you're top notch?
Well, you know, as wild as we were for the past, you know, we really probably haven't had a drink in 20 years, both of us.
Now, wait a minute.
No,
Really?
no, seriously. We don't
You
drink.
really?
Most
No.
people at our show, they'll still.
That's great. Wow.
But we did our share back in the day. Yeah.
Most people will come to our show and you'll bring us substances.
And we don't
But-
do
but we-
other things.
Now they do. They bring
A lot of people, yeah,
things
still,
for you
because
to
you know they
enjoy?
just.
Okay.
Yeah, we've actually been clean living a long time. You know, we actually take care of ourselves pretty well and eat healthy and
And take naps. I
Take-
love naps. I do.
We're actually kind of boring,
Yeah.
you know. But, you know, we've lived several lifetimes, so, you know, it was about time. Cause
And I was going to say, what was the turning point? So you've been clean, you said 20 years. What was the turning point 20 years that both of you decided it was time to maybe not take a drink anymore?
Because you don't recover as fast as
Yeah.
you used to.
Aha.
It hurt too much.
yeah. Well, Howard was probably drank more than I did.
Probably. Yes.
And what was your beverage of choice back then?
Whatever was available.
This is- So any of the bars on the ship would be good for
Yeah,
you.
well,
Okay,
yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, and yeah, I was more psychedelic at that
Yeah, he was
time.
really a clean cut. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's not necessarily the answer to longevity or sounding good, but you know, we
It
don't-
helps.
Yeah, it does, and we're not really abusive to ourselves, you know. So, aging gracefully, hopefully.
No, you are. We love you, and you sounded so awesome. I mean, I watched the whole show twice. So here you are, this far into a phenomenal career, and you're still doing new things. You're traveling the world. Now you have the new TV show. So there's all kinds of new technology coming out now. You know, the podcast is the
Oh,
big
gee, I
thing.
know.
So do you see yourselves just moving on continually into the future with all kinds of new shows and new different mediums of people getting to know you and your music?
Well, I think that all that stuff is available now, and it's a lot of fun. What I usually do now is I just dream up ways to kind of redo it, and I'll call one of my kids who are all really good computer geeks, you know. I call one of them and go, "Hey, how does this work? We're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and just show me how this works here, you know." And so we keep up through that. You know, our live show, going back to what you guys were asking, our live show is like probably the most important thing to us. We want that to sound right, because that is, you
We
can do
take
100 good
yeah.
shows, but one bad one, you know. So
It's like being is not much difference than being in sports. You know, you can have a great football game, but you're only as good as that last game or that last show. You're judged every time you're out there, and we take it very seriously.
Wow, and that is pressure. And that is so interesting you mentioned this, because just backstage, moments ago, I was talking to Deborah Evans-Price. I know you just did a thing with her, and she does a lot of the faith-based interviews with the artists, which are beautiful. Thank you, Deborah, for what you do. And we were talking about the fact that on this particular cruise, more than ever, as we talk to all the wonderful country music fans, so many people come up to me, and I know they do to you, with tears in their eyes about the artist or a particular song, the emotion, what it has meant to them in their lives. This, I'm sure, happens to you every single day. And I guess that reminds you of the responsibility. I know music is fun. You know, it is fun, and we love feeling the joy, but it seems to me you also understand the responsibility of
Absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
Well, songs mean a lot to people, you know.
Yep.
You get, I mean, even stuff that we remember, you know. We heard Kitty Wells singing a while ago, and so immediately
Yeah,
we're talking
she
about.
was our mother's favorite singer, Kitty Wells, and we got to work
really?
with Kitty, Ernest Tubb, and Hank Snow. When we had one big pop hit, and they put us on a show with those three, and they thought we were from Mars. But we made friends with Kitty.
yeah,
and
Kitty was
we're
so
friends
sweet, you
till
know.
she passed. Yeah.
Yeah, I called her and on her, what it was, 90th birthday or something.
Yeah.
And she said, "Oh my God, honey, don't remind me of that." You know, she says, "I was grocery shopping. You know, I didn't even know it was my birthday."
But see, that's cool to know that when you hear the voice of Kitty Wells, that attaches you back to your mom.
Oh, absolutely.
In a very
yeah.
emotional and special
Yeah.
way. So thank you all. Thank you for what you do. We love it that you are here. And we also love it that the show ain't over. Because guess who is singing tomorrow by the pool? Uh-huh. The Bellamy Brothers are going to be there for you.
But not in the Speedo.
Okay, here's a promise. If Howard will wear his Speedo at the concert tomorrow,
Challenge, girl.
I will
Hey.
show up in my teeny weeny bikini.
Oh, I'll show up and buy a ticket for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a joy. Thank you for joining us for All Access Pass with Howard and David, the Bellamy
Thank you,
Brothers.
guys.